Hello, my name is Mitch and I draw Blood Force, and we're back to finish up the week's series of Stormwatch videos, which we'll do right after we get back from this promo about said Blood Force. So this is Blood Force. Blood Force is a comic book that I write and draw. It is both a celebration and a parody of 90s extreme comics, and it is full of crazy stuff like this, and the action is only getting better with every page. And in order to read Blood Force, all you have to do is open the description below, click the link, go to my Patreon, and subscribe there. By subscribing on my Patreon, not only do you get access to the Blood Force comic, all of it in its entirety, you also get access to every video that I make before I post it to YouTube, usually about a week or two in advance, as well as the pre-Blood Force stuff. So we're talking about the sketches I made coming up with Blood Force, as well as a couple of projects I worked on before I did Blood Force. All this for just $3 American. You cannot get Arm Blades and Vengeance for a better price. So subscribe today, let's get Blood Force out on those shelves, and let's give the world the comics it deserves. Alright, so we're back to finish up the Stormwatch week with Stormwatch number 3, and there are a couple of things to discuss in this one, at least it's a little bit interesting. So we'll start with the cover here. We've got yet another Jim Lee cover. This isn't where things get interesting. Feels a bit like the old one, kind of similar color scheme, and similarly pointless heroes. I mean, Stormwatch number 1 kind of did this too, at least with a different color scheme. But yeah, this is a problem with Image Comics a lot of the time, where the cover, you can't tell what is going on in the issue by the cover at all, like not even remotely. On the first one, it's fine. This is, this is the team that this book is about. That's fine. That's like Savage Dragon number 1. That's like Spawn number 1. Here is the character. Even Wildcats number 1. I don't think it's very well done, but it's still, these are the characters that you're going to be reading about. And just having dudes in action-y poses. I guess this one you could kind of let it go because, introducing Cannon and Fahrenheit. That's these two. So what was the point of Winter here? It's not like we even know who Winter is. I mean, he barely showed up in issue 1. So, anyway, we're not talking about that one today. Today we're talking about Stormwatch number 3. And so we get our, like I said, standard Jim Lee cover with Trevor Scott inking it. I thought Scott Williams inked the last one, but no, because I saw the little Scott here, I'm like, oh, he just kind of, all he had room for was Scott, not Williams. Dumbass. No, this is Trevor Scott who does the inks on Stormwatch, and yeah, you can tell definitely not Scott Williams, because look at how sloppy those arms are. And a lot of incomplete lines, or a few anyway, I can see right off the bat. It's a fine cover, I guess. It's just, again, it's kind of pointless. But it looks like they've got the adjustment right on the printing this month, so kudos for that. Alright, so this is going to be same cast of characters here. Well, not characters specifically, because we have a couple more introduced here. One is Regent, created by Mike Heisler and Jim Lee. One is Backlash, created by Brett Booth and Jim Lee. And Backlash, I think, had a bit more of a lifespan in him than Regent. I could be wrong, though. So, starting off, and this is Stormwatch, the collected Stormwatch 1 and 2, going down to the Chernobyl nuclear reactor. So it is Chernobyl, specifically. And they're going to go and rescue their teammates who have been left behind. So that should be Winter, Fahrenheit, Guy with No Name, and Guy with No Name Part 2. And we're seeing a bit of a change already in the art style, actually. Because I remember from Deathmate, and if you'll recall, I got the times wrong in my Stormwatch number 1 review. Deathmate is still pending, coming up at the end of the year here, or maybe at the beginning of next year. Scott Clark's contribution to Deathmate, he went heavy duty on the shadows. And he didn't do that very much in Stormwatch issues 1 and 2, but you can see it starting in this one. And this is the same cast as he had in Stormwatch 1 and 2, where Scott Clark's doing the pencils, Trevor Scott's doing the inks, Brandon Choi and Jim Lee are doing the story, theoretically. Joe Chiodo's doing the colors. Everything's the same, except Chris Eliopoulos is doing the letters now. So I think we're going to probably see a bit of what he did in Gen 13 where he's not doing that Savage Dragon, you know, big rectangular lettering. He's going to just kind of do more standard kind of stuff. But yeah, you see these heavy-duty shadows like here. A lot of black in the background here. Heavy-duty shadows here. And I mean, and we get another splash to kick things off with. So that's 3 in a row. That's nice. But I think this is stronger so far than the look in Stormwatch number 2. Okay, some of this not so much, because this doesn't look so great. And this looks rushed. And, you know, like, yeah. It feels like he's just incorporating blacks for the first time, really. Like these kind of heavy blacks. And he doesn't know what kind of ratio he should be using. Interesting. Anyway, they're going to rush off to go and confront Regent, who already took out... who is this? Ion. Do we want to guess which of these goofs is Ion? Maybe that guy. So who's this guy then? No, see, there's 2 guys here, and we only have 1 extra name. So one of you gets to be the nobody. I think this is Ion. So this guy gets to be nobody. And he's the one who we don't have any idea what happened to him. Because Winter got pinned up against this pillar here. Fahrenheit got strung up from the ceiling. And that's it. This other guy does not... He seems to have just flat out disappeared. So anyway, point is, Stormwatch 2 attacked Regent. Regent repelled their attacks fairly easily. We find out a bit more about Winter, where his ability is to absorb energy. That was one of the deals with why he went down to Chernobyl, was because he could absorb radiation if he needed to. Okay, so I hope you appreciate this. I had to read through a bunch of Brandon Choi dialogue. So this is Regent teleported in from another world, so he isn't human. He's escaping from the Protectorate. He's a first bloodline of the Directorate. I can feel myself getting tired already. And so what he's going to try to do is he's going to try and cause an overload, a reactor meltdown. And Winter has been absorbing all of the energy so far. As soon as he reaches critical mass, then it's basically going to cover his tracks with the reactor overload. I mean, it looks like he stabs him with these control rods. But except there's no blood. So I'm not for sure exactly what happened there. Because it looks like he just kind of pops one off. Unless he's throwing his shoulder through. Like he should never be able to move his arms again if this is the case. I honestly can't tell what's going on. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Because they're still going towards Regent. They're still rushing towards him. And like I said, we got a lot of black here. This looks pretty good. Yeah, this is a nice shot. You get these 3 guys, the Flyers flying ahead. Fuji and Battalion are bringing up the rear. And yeah, with some black behind it, it actually doesn't look too bad. So it'd be interesting in the next few issues to see Scott Clark, I think, get a handle on how much black he can put on a page. And here, Weatherman and Synergy are discussing damage control. So, first now they're discussing if it looks like Stormwatch can't keep Regent under control, they're going to send down a neutron device, which should destroy all living matter, theoretically. Alright, so flying in, cool shot, and at least Scott Clark had the sense to have Hellstrike here overlap the panel. And put a nice thick border around him. I mean, that might have been Trevor Scott that did that, and not Scott Clark. The other Scott. But no, that looks good. That's how I would do it. Yes, very well done. And this is I mean, you probably can't even see it. I can't see it very well. This is the remains of Lancer, which is guy number 5 from the original team. And it looks like he got cut in half too, so that's just kind of Regent's thing. Alright, so they hear Cannon having a fit, throwing a tantrum here, going, come out and fight me, all that shit. And Regent is just going to go out and fight him. So good for him. And Winter does something. I have to assume that he did impale him with the control rods. And that he was punching his shoulder forward to get past the end of the control rod. And that he will heal from this somehow. I have to assume that's what they're doing. This uniform sucks. I guess it kind of is the uniform that he had at the beginning, yeah, just without the flak jacket. Yeah, that's lame. Alright, so Regent confronts Stormwatch 1. Not a great shot, really. I feel like that could have been done quite a bit better. Alright, and I still don't even really know what Cannon's powers are. I would have assumed light cannonball. But apparently he has some sort of energy blast as well. And Regent says, "Greetings, Stormwatch, I am your doom." And Cannon's response is, "Doom on you," some sort of swear word. So, I think they're trying to make Cannon intentionally kind of dumb. Like he's a kid, but like, you know. Like, I could put that particular line in mind, and I think I might. Doom on you. Here, I'm going to write that down. $pound at percentage. Which I would assume is doom on you shit. Or shat, perhaps, with the at sign. But, yeah. Okay, so we're going to get a fight which isn't great, honestly. Like this is a weak shot. And you get a lot of, feel its power before you die. Your power means nothing to me. And Fuji gets punched through the floor, so that's something. And just cliche after cliche. So I'm thinking maybe they got Eric Stevenson over from Brigade to script a little bit of this, because you shall pay for that, human. This is the genocide fight all over again. I feel like we've seen all of this dialogue not too long ago. Brigade number 2, go watch the revisit for that one. You're going to see a lot of the same shit here. Come out and let's finish this once and for all. Just what I had in mind, Regent. Take him, Hellstrike. Good as done, Battalion. He's mine, Hellstrike. Like, oh my god. This has got to be the easiest thing to script. You're just, what's a cliche I haven't used for 3 pages? Okay, so Diva is going off searching for Winter and Fahrenheit. She finds them. And yeah, it looks like Winter has a bit of a bloody spot on his chest here. So I think that is what happened where he got impaled. But like I said, he's those arms are going to be useless for the rest of his life now. But okay, why not? Not to mention he probably hit some vital organs somewhere. Like punctured a lung. I don't know if he got the heart, but he probably got an artery somewhere in there. The hole he made would have been massive. And Winter regenerizes by Fahrenheit, I think, kind of hitting him with her firepower. Yeah. Anyway. Cool shot here. He gets blindsided by Regent. He's going to shoot back, and then I think, we cut back to Skywatch. And Skywatch is reconsidering the neutron strike because they think maybe he'll still be able to survive it, and Stormwatch looks like they're losing. So they're going to be sure that the site is rendered morbid. Which is nice phrasing, interesting. So they're going to prime the War Guard for operational duty. Initiate decryonization procedures on my mark. And this lady here is all like, "No, not the War Guard! There's got to be another way!" And then we immediately cut to a quiet moment between Backlash and Malcolm. Malcolm's convalescing. Backlash comes in and shakes his hand and goes, "I'm going to train you and shit now that you're a seedling." And he goes, "Okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I know, I trained your brother too. Cool. Okay. It's like, way to kind of build up tension and then again diffuse it. This seems to be a habit. Alright, so they're just going to keep shooting at Regent because that doesn't work. So obviously if they continue, eventually it will. And Regent keeps going on about his Justice Stone over and over and over again. That's the only thing that's powering him. Battalion gets knocked down. They're talking about bugging out again, and Cannon's like, no, not again. And right when he's about to deliver the killing blow, Fahrenheit and Diva show up and do something to knock him over. I'm not sure exactly what. She's got like fire powers, and she's essentially Banshee from what I understand, but it doesn't really look like she's doing her screamy thing. So I don't know. Something's happening that's sending them flying, and these guys are all weirded out that women are doing things. And again, not a fantastic choice for a layout for a 2-page spread. Like, Diva's pose here is kind of putting a halt on the action, the way she's kind of coming in at that angle. This is pretty weak pose. Like, a lot of these poses are just kind of weak. This is awkward as shit. There's probably a way you could have done it where this would have been fine, but this ain't it. Bit of a waste of a spread. Okay, and your attack means nothing to one who can fly, he says to 2 flying women. And so we get here that the neutron strike is still happening. Battalion is aware of it, so they are piping the communications through his helmet thing. And then Winter comes and he absorbs the power from Regent's Justice Stone. And that makes Regent vulnerable, and then they can shoot him with Battalion's Psi Gun. And that weakens Regent enough that he has to leave. Decent shots. Yeah, they're okay. But anyway, they have to go and shut down the reactor really quick. Because the neutron strike is still coming. They're not going to put that off until the reactor overload has been halted. And then halfway there, he said, we're out of time, but Weatherman's called off the strike. He says the reactor is shutting down, but how? And then it turns out Fuji had put back all the control rods back in, and that got the reactor back under control. They know a fair bit about the reactors here, I gotta say. This wouldn't have been too long after Chernobyl went up. I wonder if somebody was like... You know how, like, just sometimes a news story will, like, grab your attention and you have to research the shit out of it? I wonder if somebody did that with Chernobyl. I believe, I mean, at the point where it was about to overload, they couldn't put the rods back in, but I don't know. I didn't watch that thing, the documentary in full. I only saw bits and pieces of it. So, let's give Fuji the benefit of the doubt here that he saved the day. This is still very deflating. I mean, if they'd said something about before where Fuji was like, I will stay behind and put the control rods back in, or, you know, they mentioned that at some point it wouldn't have been kind of like, oh, so they just, it fixed itself. Oh, no, wait, Fuji fixed it. Oh, I guess we won, guys. Okay, good job, team. And Fuji's hankering for a beer. Even though... Well, no, actually, no, I think he does. Because he's like a gaseous entity. I'm not sure if Hellstrike is at this point. But, I believe he does still drink after the fact still. So, that's fine. Oh, shit, and that's it. It just ended. Okay, that's that crisis averted. Go Stormwatch. And the letters column is now called Maelstrom. Alright, good stuff. And yeah, that's going to be about it. I don't think we get any new ads either. Unfortunately, we've seen all the ads. Is this actually perforated? I think it is too. What the fuck, guys? are you fucking up my... Dude, what are you fucking up my comic for? It's a weird thing to perforate. For the Stormwatch trading card number 00. Like, could you not just send in some cash? Like, you know, copy down the address, copy down a letter being like, I would like the Stormwatch trading card number 00, please. Without fucking up your comic? That seems like that should have been possible. Anyway. Oh, we got the Art of Homage coming up. Coming at you this October. This is July. Okay, yeah, that's fairly new. Alright, so that was Stormwatch. Yeah. Not great on the story. Kind of a notch above Brigade, really. At least the art was a lot better than Brigade. But, no, still not really where it needs to be. But you can see him evolving quickly, which is a good sign. You know, because in this last one here, yeah, same colorist. But yeah, not nearly as much black in number 2. Like, this is, like, this almost looks like, this is more of an indie comics kind of approach, I think. Yeah, not a lot of black, just a lot of line work. This does feel a bit more imagey. Interestingly enough. So yeah, it'll be good to see where Trevor Scott's style goes from here. I think he gets quite a bit better. But yeah, we are a ways off. But that is going to do it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications. Go over, follow me on Twitter. More importantly, go and subscribe on my Patreon. That's where all these videos go before they get uploaded to YouTube, usually about a week or so in advance. That's also where all of the Blood Force pages go, as well as any process stuff and any Patreon exclusives. So well worth checking out. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.